Good morning, everyone. This is Fellowship of Spirit coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico, and we are extremely happy that you are with us today. This is the 4th of December, 2022. This year is rapidly drawing to a close, and it just seemed like we just started it, but it's here it is, December already, and it's a little cloudy here. But it's no precipitation to speak of, just a little cloudy. I think we may be getting some rain or snow later on tonight. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We have rain, we have weather here every day. So sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's not. So, but we get along with it no matter what. No problem. And we have a wonderful program for you today. Let's see, who's doing a spiritual reading? Is it Steve or Jenny? See, this is the first.
Yeah, I do the second.
Oh, this is my day to do it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'll figure out something.
On your bag?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my book. I had my Neil Donald Walsh book was MIA this morning, so I don't know what happened. Anyway, so we'll Mark Wolf from Northern Kentucky is going to be speaking to us. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but I tell you what, I know that it will be interesting and it will be valuable and it will be fun. And so all of his talks are, and so hang around for Mark. We'll be speaking in just a little while. And Margaret Cheesebro is going to be playing piano, and Steve Barker will be singing. We will have potluck after our meeting, and wish that all of you who are out there on Zoom could be here with us. If you're local, just come on down after it closes. Anyway, if you could be here, I'm sure that you would be here. So anyway, this is the first Sunday of the month, and we will have a potluck dinner after our service. So people are coming in and getting set up, and this is we've been kind of over the Thanksgiving holiday. We were kind of shorthanded around here. People were doing other things. It seemed like most everybody's back and in the places where we're most familiar with them, which is in either on Zoom or on here in the sanctuary. So Jerry is in there. We will do announcements later, but I just want to tell everyone that if you are interested, next meeting, next week, we will have our election for board members, and we will have election of the board officers later. So if you want to serve Fellowship of Spirit on the board of directors, we'll just let us know. Everyone is welcome. We do not have a certain number of people that we have to have. We don't have a limit. We can have as many as we want. So we never have had too many people get involved. So anyway, that will be next week. We did take care of our is the fence deal finished, Steve?
Yeah, pardon me?
Our fencing?
No, it's in progress.
Okay, so what we decided to do about our little skunk challenge is that we decided to put some fencing up on the sides of the sanctuary, the building where they get in. And so we've contracted with a local fence company, and they are in the process of installing a fence for us.
Actually, we bought the materials from them, and we are installing them.
Oh, really? Because I thought they were going to
install. In fact, I don't have two guys from my crew finish.
For that money?
Huh?
For the same amount, or what?
Oh, way cheaper.
Okay, way cheaper, that's good, because I
Way
thought that was,
way cheaper than the asphalt.
I thought that, well, way cheaper than, anyway, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so Steve is gonna have a couple of his guys install it, but we have bought the material, and we have a plan. We have a plan to do, we've had plans before, but the Skunks had their own plans. And they were about, 2 steps ahead of us always, no matter what we did, well, they still found a way to get in. We even put, fencing out, chicken wire out about 2 feet away, 3 feet away from the edge of the building, and then they just had longer tunnels. They just started tunneling later. They still got in, but different things. So anyway, we're trying a new approach, and hopefully it will be more successful than those that we've had in the past. So, okay, you ready, Margaret? Okay, Margaret is going to play a prelude, and that's going to be No Room, Only a Manager of Hay, composed by John W. Peterson. Thank you, Margaret. That was beautiful. It was beautiful. Want to have an opening prayer? Father, Mother God, creator of the universe, sustainer and fulfiller of our happiness, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together to share and increasing our love and our awareness, and to commune together, to be happy and to help each other to be able to achieve happiness. So thank you very much. Amen. Okay, so now we have another song, I bet you. Yeah, so here we go. Angels on High, number 279.
Test.
Angels we have heard on
Uh-oh. Oh, I know, I got it on the wrong page. That's okay, I'm not gonna do that right now. We're gonna go back and continue on with our program. At this time, I wanna do our reflection, Mona. So repeat after me. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. And that was written by Mitch Jones, who was Jenny Jones's mother, and we miss her every day. All right. It's now time for our spiritual reading, and that will be me. This is the first Sunday. All right, I'm getting this from Richard Bach's Messiah's Handbook. I just opened it up to a couple of them here that are pretty pertinent. It's easy to live the expected and the conventional. It's when you live the unexpected that you start having fun with your life. The individual is always the exception. Everybody can't, but anybody can. I think those are pretty neat. Your only obligation to in any lifetime is to be true to yourself. You build the appearances around you and you get exactly what you deserve. Who's to blame? Who's to credit but you? Who can change it anytime you wish but you? There's things to think about. Okay. Now it's time, I gotta get it on this thing. Ready. 291. Merry Christmas. All right. Mark Wolf has spoken here many times, and we always cherish his words, his wisdom, and his love that he gives to us. Mark moved away, and through the magic of Zoom, we are able to be together. So there were good things that came out of COVID, and our ability to do this is one of the ones that comes to my mind. A lot of good stuff and bad stuff. I don't know. I gave up judging because some of the worst times in my life turned out to be actually the best times, because they changed my direction and how I was doing my life. So I'm just not a real good judge about good and bad. So, but anyway, Mark Wolf is going to talk to us about why Santa Claus only comes at night. So let us welcome Mark Wolf.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Wow, it's December. You know, who saw that coming? We made it to the end of another year. And in about 4 weeks, it's going to be 2023. You know, 2023. Sometimes I just have to say it out loud. You know, 2023. It doesn't seem like that long ago that the year 2000 seemed impossibly far into the future. And now look at us. You know, here we are. Anyway, grab a pencil and a piece of paper in case you want to jot down some notes or take some references to look at later in the day, or in case I say something interesting. And if I don't say anything interesting, you can work on your grocery list. So it'll be time well spent. What I want to talk with you about this morning is why Santa Claus only comes at night. I mean, did you ever think about that? Why does Santa Claus only come at night? You know, when my son and daughter were small, I mean, way back when, you know, when they were little kids, they were so excited about Santa Claus. They lived up in Grand Junction. Now, in case you don't know, Grand Junction is what you get if you take summer in Farmington and winter in Durango, and you put them together, you get Grand Junction, okay? And so on Christmas Eve during the day, my kids would open the front door and they would sit patiently at the glass storm door, scanning the sky for a glimpse of Santa Claus and the reindeer. And a frosty chill would enter the house because the storm door didn't fit all that tightly. But my kids didn't notice because they were so excited about Santa Claus, and they were snug in their heavy flannel pajamas with feet. And so they're really excited about Santa Claus, and they wanted more than anything to get a glimpse of the reindeer flying through the sky. And so they sat at the front door, patiently watching the sky until I began to wonder if maybe it would just be warmer just to sit outside. You know, excuse me, my daughter would say, I have to go to the bathroom. And as soon as she got up, my son would say, I think I saw something. And then there they sat, hour after hour. And then I'd say, hey, you know what? NORAD. Okay, NORAD just over in Colorado Springs. NORAD tracks Santa Claus on their radar. All we have to do is shut the front door and we can go and look on the NORAD website and we can see where Santa Claus is right now. Yeah, good try, Dad, but yeah, no. And then I would say, hey, yeah, you know what? Santa Claus only comes at night. You have to be asleep in bed before Santa Claus can even come. And my son looked at me and he says, why? And I said, well, son, you know, Santa Claus has a big job to do and not a lot of time to get it done. And so Santa Claus doesn't have time to visit with people when he goes from house to house. He's got to go in the house, drop off the presents, get out, go in the house, drop off the presents, get out, go in the house, drop off the presents, get out, boom, 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 all night long in order to get it done. And if people were there, they want to visit, they want to chat, you know, drink some eggnog or something. And Santa Claus just wouldn't have enough time to get it done. So everybody's got to be in the bed, asleep, and out of Santa Claus's way so he can get his work done. So what if we shut the front door and we get some cookies and let's get ready to watch Polar Express? Dad rocks, that worked. So can you see that? Here we are. I think that's Christmas 2012. We were so much younger back then. Anyway, come Christmas morning, Santa Claus would have come and gone, having left piles of beautifully, perfectly wrapped presents, fresh from the hand of the head wrapping elf. So Santa Claus only comes at night. I mean, what's up with that? Let's talk about that. More specifically, let's talk about the darkness. Okay? Because, you know, we seek the light and we embrace the light, we celebrate the light, and this little light of mine, we're going to let it shine in this whole thing. But what about the darkness? You know, especially now that we're moving into the darkest part of the year, what about the darkness? And what kind of spiritual wisdom does the darkness offer us? And what's the meaning of the darkness? And what is the gift that darkness could offer us? Well, it turns out that the Bible actually has a very great deal to say about darkness. Starting on page 1. So listen to what it has to say. This is very familiar, but as usual, we're going to listen to it in a little different way. Genesis chapter 1, starting in verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, but the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Now, there are a couple of problems in that passage, but we're only going to talk about one of them. Now, remember, you're reading along and you find a problem of logic or sequence. Don't ignore it and say it's not there. It is there, and it's there for a reason. It's there to tell us, hey, look here, ask questions and look here, and don't take it literally. Okay, so darkness was on the face of the deep, and then God said, let there be light. Now, we've heard it 1,000 times, but here's what I want to know. When was the darkness created? We're not told. The darkness was already there before the creation began. So what does that mean? Well, hang on to that. We'll get back to it. Here's another often overlooked passage about the darkness. And this is the story of Abram, the great father, better known to us as Abraham. Abram received the promise of God and the change of destiny in the darkness. Listen to this. We're looking at Genesis chapter 15, verses 1 through 5. And God took Abram outside and said, "Look now toward the sky and count the stars, if you can count them. So shall your descendants be." And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted it to Abram as righteousness. Then Abraham's grandson Jacob went into the darkness to receive his blessing and a change of destiny. And we are looking at Genesis 32, starting in verse 24. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. In other words, all night. The man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." He asked him, "What is your name?" He answered, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel." So Jacob received a new name, meaning a new destiny in the darkness. And then in the story of how Jacob's descendants were set free from slavery, okay, this occurs at midnight, and we're looking at Exodus 12, verse 29. It came to pass at midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, and Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron at night and said, "Rise, go up from among my people and get out of here." And so the Israelites were given freedom at midnight. Later, a few days later, actually, the 10 Commandments were given in darkness. Okay, where this is described in Deuteronomy 4, verse 11. It says, "Then you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the midst of heaven, with darkness, cloud, and thick darkness." So these 10 teachings, these 10 commandments are given not just in darkness, but in thick darkness. So we're seeing a pattern here. Blessings are given in the darkness. Destiny changes in the darkness. And the darkness already existed before God said, "Let there be light." So here's a few more. The boy Samuel was called by God and made a prophet in the darkness. This is 1 Samuel chapter 3. King Solomon said that the Lord lives in a dark cloud. 1 Kings chapter 8. And then turning over to the New Testament book of Acts, okay, we find stories about the beginnings of the Christian movement. And in Acts chapter 16, Paul and Silas have been arrested. Okay, they've been arrested, thrown in the dungeon. They're in chains. And at midnight, they begin to sing and pray. Now, why midnight? Well, it's the darkest part of the night, and it's the time that the children of Israel were set free. It is a time of freedom. So they're singing and praying at midnight, and there's an earthquake. Everybody's chains fall off, the doors pop open, and everybody is set free at midnight. Okay, and certainly this, Luke chapter 2. Now, there were in the same country shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terribly afraid. And the angel said to them, "Don't be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people." Excuse me. Okay. So again, the miracle, the blessing, the change of destiny, the light is given in the darkness. And Matthew chapter 2, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem saying, "Where is he who is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." Now, this star in the east, was it a real star, an actual light in the night sky, or was it an inner spiritual experience? Well, we go through this every year, but there are clues in the text that lead me to believe that the so-called Star of Bethlehem was an inner spiritual experience that only the wise men could see. However, the implication is the same. The blessing, the miracle, the change of destiny, this occurred in the darkness, not in the light. You know, it's very easy to get into a frame of mind and say that somehow darkness is the devil. The darkness is evil. The darkness is at war with God. It is not. Okay? The darkness is a beautiful, perfect creation of God, created for a purpose. The darkness is not evil. It is not against God, not at all. God created the darkness for a purpose. Now we need to ask the question, what is that purpose? The purpose of the darkness is to be a container for the light. Okay? Darkness is light that has not yet been revealed. God's greatest gifts to us always come wrapped in darkness. Then it's up to us, okay, it's up to us through love and sharing and giving. It's up to us to reveal the gift. In other words, to unwrap it and reveal that gift to the world. The meaning of darkness is that it is the container of light. The darkness, think of it like this. The darkness is like the infrastructure that our universe is built on. If you don't mind me getting sciencey here for a second. Our science, the science of cosmology that seeks to describe and understand the way the universe is built. We've been dancing around this idea for decades. And our space, right now, our space telescopes are looking for the nature of a thing called dark matter. And we cannot see dark matter, but we can see what it does. So we know that it's there. We just don't know what it is yet. The dark matter is literally the studs and the trusses and the joists that give, that hold up our universe and give shape to it. Just like you look at a finished house, you don't see the wooden framework. Excuse me. You don't see the wooden framework, but you know that it's there because you can see the house. And so this dark matter in the universe, we don't know what it is yet, but we do know that it holds up our universe, and that it is the darkness that gives it shape and structure and direction. So whatever dark matter turns out to be, it is also a beautiful and perfect creation of God. I can imagine the dark matter of the physical universe like a curtain rod, and then the drapery of stars and galaxies hangs on it. I love that. But in our spiritual universe, it is the darkness that hides the light, gift wrapping it, so that we can reveal it ourselves a little at a time. See, we have to realize that when there's the darkness of anger and resentment, and we declare, I forgive, it is the same thing as saying, let there be light. But the darkness was already there, holding onto that light and keeping it safe until we were ready to reveal it. No matter how dark and scary a situation may appear to be, there is always a thread of light hidden within it. Okay? There's always at least a thread of light, no matter what it appears to be. This is a life lesson I learned from Rabbi Michael Berg, and I have discovered that it is true. No matter how dark a situation may appear to be, there's always at least a thread of light hidden within it. That light is waiting to be revealed. That light is wanting to be revealed, wanting to be unwrapped so that it can be a blessing and a healing and a miracle in our lives, a blessing of light and love to share. Hidden within the darkness of confusion is the light of right direction. Hidden within the darkness of fear is the light of courage. Hidden within the darkness of anger is the light of peace. Our blessings come to us wrapped in darkness so that we can reveal the light when we're ready and when we feel strong enough. It's up to us to reveal the light in the world. It's up to us to say, let there be light. And there will be light when we choose to become that light. Now it's easy. This is an easy one. It's easy to look around the world and see the darkness. That's so easy. It's easy to look around and see poverty and sickness and despair and war. It's easy to look around, excuse me, it's easy to look around our own lives and see weariness and exhaustion and anxiety and confusion. And in case you can't see it, all you have to do is turn on the evening news, and there's a whole crew of trained professionals who will point it out to you. But I'm telling you something different today, something very contrary. So we move into the darkest part of the year. I want us to look at the darkness around us and see it in a whole brand new way. What we're seeing that appears to be darkness around us is the wrapped up gifts of God. We should not be surprised if the wrapping looks completely different from the gift within. Okay, you know, back in the days when my son and daughter were small and scanning the skies for a glimpse of Santa Claus and the reindeer, their favorite toys were the Angry Bird characters. Remember those? Christmas, birthdays, everything was all about the Angry Birds. Now imagine it's Christmas morning and Santa Claus has left stacks of beautifully wrapped presents fresh from the head wrapping elf. And can you imagine my kids would have come in the living room confused or disappointed and say, how can you imagine being mad at Santa Claus? Say, we wanted Angry Birds, but all we got is a stack of boxes wrapped in paper. Okay? We wanted Angry Birds, and all we got is a bunch of boxes. But they knew to tear into the wrapping paper and tear into the boxes to get to the gift inside. And they knew it so well that it didn't take any time at all before we were knee deep in wrapping paper. And we have to do the same thing. Okay, we have to be like little children on Christmas morning with faith that the boxes and packages we see are not the real gifts. The boxes and packages we see may look like fear, it look like despair or worry or poverty or sickness or hopelessness, but those are just the packages. We got to wade into that pile of packages and start to tear into them to find the gifts that they hide. God's holy gifts of light, God's holy blessings come wrapped up in God's holy darkness. And the beauty of it, oh, the miracle of it. Big gifts come wrapped in big boxes. I believe this is why we are told that the 10 commandments were given not just in darkness, but in thick darkness, because a great light requires a great big box to hold it. And this teaches us something marvelous and miraculous, because when we're faced with difficult challenges in life, relationship challenges, financial challenges, health challenges, God forbid, or whatever it is, we have to look at it and say, wow, this is amazing. Only a huge gift, a huge blessing, a huge light could be hidden in a box this big. And tear into that package and get the blessing out of it. Now, okay, so you might say, all right, it's okay, big box, big blessing, I get it. Great darkness, right. But how do you actually unwrap the box to get to the blessing inside? I mean, how do you actually do that? In other words, how do you get through the darkness, the appearance of darkness, in order to get to the light and the blessing and the miracle it contains? Well, here's how to do that. Here's how to do it. Very simple. Act like the light, not like the box. Okay? Be the gift, not the wrapping paper. Okay? See, when we approach life with anger and resentment, we're acting like the wrapping paper. And life will respond by giving us more wrapping paper. All right? In other words, more to be angry about, more to resent. And on Christmas morning, it's not about the wrapping paper. It's about the gifts. When we approach life with love and faith and an attitude of sharing and giving and non-judgment, then the darkness will fall away on its own. So you want to unwrap the gift, be the love, be the forgiveness, be the faith, be the joy, be the non-judgment, be the sharing, especially when it's difficult. That's how to unwrap the dark packages that life can send our way. Remembering that the darkness itself is light waiting to be revealed. This is why December 25th is such a beautiful symbol of the rabbi's birth. You know, and it is a symbol, okay? It's not the actual day, not the actual day on the calendar, but midnight on December 25th is a beautiful symbol because it's the darkest part of the night, at the darkest part of the year, when the hope of more light is barely flickering. And in that great darkness, a great light was given. Then the rabbi himself taught us how to unwrap and overcome that great darkness that cradled his great light. He said, love one another, be good to each other, share your blessings and treat each other the way you want to be treated. Okay? That's how you unwrap the darkness to get to the light and the blessings and the healing and the miracles inside. You know, we look at the book of John, John's Gospel, chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in the darkness and the darkness does not comprehend it. Well, of course, the darkness doesn't comprehend it. The darkness is just the vessel, it's just the container for the light. Light is energy. Energy has to have a vessel. to give it shape and direction. Light is given to us in the appearance of darkness so that we can unwrap it ourselves, so that we can say, let there be light. Then the blessing comes, the blessing becomes our light to share with others and to share with the world. And the physical and spiritual blessings of our world, that is to say, the physical and spiritual darkness of our world, makes every gift of light shine very brightly. This is why Santa Claus only comes at night. Those blessings come to us most often disguised by darkness. The darkness of despair, okay, brings about the light of sobriety. The darkness of loss that leads to new and greater prosperity. The darkness of disconnection that hides the blessings of new appreciation, new joy, new direction, new hope. First, there is the darkness. First, there is God's holy darkness. Then God said, let there be light. And by acting like the light through love and sharing and forgiveness, we unwrap these blessings and gifts of God. Be the light, and the dark wrapping paper will fall off on its own. And don't be afraid. The greatest gifts come in the biggest boxes. The greatest blessings, the greatest miracles of light will be hidden within the greatest appearance of darkness. That's why Santa Claus only comes at night. So let me take a minute. I hope I'm among the first to wish you love and happy holidays. As Hanukkah begins on the night of the 18th, the solstice on the 21st, Christmas on the 25th, Kwanzaa on the 26th, and I probably forgot a couple. Anyway, happy holidays with love and joy. Back to you, Ron.
Thank you, Mark. All right. Who wants to speak to Mark? Marian's going to come up here. All right.
Good morning, Mark, and everybody.
Morning, Marianne.
I wanted to talk about darkness because I had an experience when I was 3 years old that is as clear today, 90 years later, as when it happened then. My dad had put up a little swing for me in the backyard. And the first time I used it, I went out and sat in it and twirled around and got strangled. And my dad looked out just in time. But when that happened, I was cradled in darkness. I left my body. I was cradled in darkness, and it was like a warm mother holding me in her arms. There was no pain, there was no fear, there was absolute peace. And I floated in that in some time, and then I was over. And that part of it is another story. But the darkness was one of the most beautiful experiences that I remember having in this lifetime. And I also want to say that my first metaphysical pastor, the Reverend Dan Taggart, who passed over many years ago, I remember him saying, black is a sacred color because it welcomes all the other colors.
Thank you, Marianne.
Wow.
Hey, Mark, this is John. How are you?
Hi, John.
How's life in Kentucky? Still a minute?
I've been sick and quite under the weather for a couple of weeks, but I'm better and things are good.
When you were talking about your kids, I remember those days. And your son got me interested in Angry Birds, and your daughter got me interested in Fruit Ninja. And you know, I put those onto my phone, and I still play them once in a while. So
Okay, sweet.
okay. I just thought Margot and I'd say we love you. We hope you have a great Christmas. Okay.
I love you too.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Who else? Come on up.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jenny.
So, as part of my normal Christmas introduction, to the season, whatever, I watched The Grinch, the original cartoon version, last night. And all of your talks, and this one especially, remind me of the Grinch having, he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler got sore. And that's me. So I'm puzzling. And I'll keep puzzling. I don't think my puzzler will get sore, but I just love to listen to your talks. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Sending you love.
You too.
Thank you, Jenny.
Welcome.
Who else?
Mark, this is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
I keep thinking you couldn't give any better talks. And each time you do, it's even more wonderful. And I would have to say that, especially this time, because they say that if you hear something more than once, twice, or thrice, that you better be listening because it's God talking to you.
Yeah.
And so we were having a discussion on darkness and
Really?
on what Marion was saying about black too. And I'm going, oh my God, how could it be? I mean, I've never talked about it before. And then you give a talk on it. So I feel really that, God is speaking to me. And I want to thank you. And thank you for everything you are. You are the greatest Christmas present I could have had. Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for bringing the message and for reminding us that, it's all about energy, and, when solstice comes, that's the lowest energy day of the year, and then it begins to come back. 4 days later, okay, is when we celebrate the birth of Jesus. And, I have a friend who is a Mormon, Latter-day Saint. She's very involved in the church, and she really loves it. She's been there forever. And we have a lot of interesting conversations, and we find some commonality and some disagreement, but we celebrate each other's stuff. But she asked me one time, she says, well, if you're not Christian, do you celebrate Christmas, or what's the deal with that? And I said, well, no, I said, I think it's very appropriate to celebrate the birth of one of the people in the whole of history who has achieved Christ consciousness and brings a great message and energy into the world. It's very appropriate to celebrate the birth of that person. Oh, she said, well, that makes a lot of sense. And I can just leave all the other, stuff all out on the side, people's different views of that and myths and truth, and I don't have to worry about that. It's just, if I celebrate that, then I am celebrating perhaps the true meaning of Christmas. For me, anyway, that's what it is. So.
Nice.
All right. So anyone else? Margaret, you look like you wanted to say something, you wanted to play a song. Margaret is really got her fingers are itching to play a song. So we're going to do that. So thank you, Mark. We appreciate you and love you. Hope that you have a great holiday season, because you celebrate Hanukkah and you celebrate Christmas. You celebrate everything. I know you celebrate every year, every day, because you're just a joyful person, and it's really good to know that. So
Thank you.
take care.
Will do.
Okay, so now we're going to have a song by Margaret and Steve.
It's about a little town that was in
Little-
the dark,
little-
brought
little-
into the light.
Little town in Bethlehem. $273 in the Brown Book. And there we go, we're ready.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Of thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. Oh, morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to men on earth. How silently, the wondrous gift is given. So God imparts to human hearts the blessings of his heaven. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him, still the dear Prince enter in. O holy child of Bethlehem, descend us on, we pray. Cast out our sin and enter in, be born in us today. We hear the Christmas angels, the great glad tidings tell. Oh, come to us, abide with us, our Lord Emmanuel.
All right. Thank you, Margaret and Steve. Another wonderful rendition of an old song that we all know and love. Okay, so now we're going to do our celebration of abundance. So let us place over our heart that which we intend to contribute, and repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. Well, thank you, Steve. Jerry, when you were out earlier, we talked a little bit about what was going on with our efforts to stay ahead of the skunks and what we were doing with that. And that the fact that we are having Our board elections next week, we'll have a board meeting, and invited all those who want to be on the board to be on the board. Is there anything else?
Yeah. In the past, we have dealt with Christmas kids because we've collected money and given it out. But in the last couple of years, we've been focusing our giving to Child Haven. And they list on their website what they need. And we do not have a specific amount, saved towards it. We've got a few dollars saved that were donated to it specifically, but we do have money in the bank to use for this. And so at this point, we need to vote on whether or not we want to help Child Haven again this year. We go online and figure out what they need, and we go buy as much of it as we can and take it to them and give it to them, because they don't have somebody that can go shop for them. So we can't just give them money. They're shorthanded, as a lot of people are. So anyway, that's what we need to do, is vote on that today if we want to continue to help Child Haven at Christmas, and if we do, how much do we want to do?
Okay, so we could do that all in one time. In the past, how much have we designated to
500.
500. Is that still a doable figure?
It is.
So in the past, we have done a $500 gift that we've gone and bought various gifts and things that people need at Child Haven. Is there a motion to do that this year?
I make the motion.
Okay, Jerry moves. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we take $500 out of our general account and buy gifts for Child Haven for Christmas. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. So you can just make it so. And usually Rhonda goes and does that for us. And she's always done a good job in the past. There's no reason to think that she will not this year. So that's good. So we've done that. Is there anything else that anyone would like to talk about? Okay. Well, I would like to invite you, all of you, as my family, to my installation of Master of San Juan Masonic Lodge number 25 next Saturday at 2:00 in Aztec. Everybody always invites their family, and I have no family that lives here, blood family, but I have a lot of family, and I consider all of you guys my family, and I would feel a special honor if you would come and sit there and just witness me taking the vows to become the Master of the Lodge for a year. Okay, that's what we do. We change them out every year. And I've been the master before, but
Where
yes,
is it?
it's in Aztec, just as you're going out of town towards Durango, just before you get to the city limits. It's that big building with the columns in the front on the right. Okay, 2:00.
What time is it?
2:00, and we will begin promptly at 2. So you should probably come a little early to get a seat. So, and refreshments will be served after, but being in the middle of the afternoon, we won't have a lunch or a dinner, but we will have some refreshments and a little time to visit after. So and invite anyone that you know that's a member of this congregation or not. It doesn't matter. If you know of someone who might be interested to find out, it's an excellent time to find out about Masonry and what we're all about, because all of the things that we are inculcated to do are included in the ceremony. It only lasts less than an hour, and we'll be out of there. So hopefully you can come. I would appreciate it, and you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes.
Are you still with us, Mark?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You weren't showing up on my. There you are. Yeah. So Mark was installed as he is a Mason, and he joined the lodge, and I was honored to be his coach and mentor a few years ago, and he still continued with that, and he is got elected this year to be the secretary of his lodge, which is a hardworking and a very valued position within the lodge. And so we can congratulate Mark for doing that. Susan also, I think, is a Mason. She's a Mason from a European. The French have two different paths that they do. Our lodges will not let women in, but that one from France will. And so she is enjoying the fruits of Masonic fraternity in that respect. So anyway, come find out what it's all about. Maybe you can, and if you know of anyone who might be interested, feel free to bring them. It's an open installation, and it's our best, we put forward our best foot forward. So, all right, so that's it. Is there anything else? Anyone else have any announcements? No concerts? We've done all the singing you're gonna do for the year. It's all done.
The solstice.
The solstice is,
Farmington Library. There will be a drum group from a combination of the Aztec Ashe group and the class at the college at about 11:30, usually play then. So, yeah, that'll be happening,
it's gonna be on the 20th?
21st, as far as I know.
Well, I mean, will it be on the 20th and then at midnight it turns 21st or
We
what?
don't play in the public library at midnight, so as far as I know, it's 11:30 in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, in the morning? Oh, okay.
Yes, that kind of 11.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's on the 21st. There's going to be a drumming.
Well, there's a whole, the Farmington Library was created so that it had markers on the floor for both the summer and the winter solstice. And so from up until the beam of light, should there be one, hits the marker.
Oh,
It's pretty
okay.
cool.
Okay, good.
And so there are other things planned for that as well. It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah. Okay.
that.
Mark was working there in the library when that happened, I think.
One year, the light
Yep.
didn't come through, the sun didn't come out, so one of the library staff climbed a ladder and shined a flashlight.
Shine a flashlight on? Yeah. Now, some light is artificial. It's okay. It's all light. Well, that's good. Okay. So we have another meeting or two before then that happens. So we'll be talking about the solstice as we get closer to it. Okay. Thanks a lot, Mark. Thanks, everybody. And that will, now we're going to circle up and sing our songs.
Did you want to close with prayer?
I do, well, is Bill gone to get to do a prayer?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing, but I have a prayer for you.
Well, come on. Jerry's gonna do a,
Well, he covered it while I was gone last month, so I figure I should do this. God's answers. Be thankful that God's answers are wiser than your answers. What a mess we would be in if we had to know all the right answers. We can paralyze ourselves trying to figure things out. Often our best solutions are trumpeted by a surprise that winds up being helpful in the long run. It's very hard to read this. There are unseen forces acting upon our lives, and wisdom is often measured out to us as we become ready for it. It's okay to go forward in life with the little bit of wisdom we have, trusting that more will be revealed as we need it. I don't need all the answers, and that's okay. I'm glad I get to learn and enjoy the answers as I discover them. And pretty much like Mark said, in the morning after the dark comes the light. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Course in Miracles on Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Power of 8, Thursday, 6:30, Margaret Cheesebro. And then on 8:45 on Sunday morning, we're studying the book that we're studying. It's pretty, we really are enjoying it. It's really good. It was written pre Course in Miracles, but it has a lot of the same principles and a lot of the same concepts that are covered in Course in Miracles. It was written in the early 50s or mid 50s. And so we're enjoying it. Anyway, all right. So now we should circle up and sing our songs. So we can go eat. What do you think?
Not as a small group. Well, yeah, but you could.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in unity and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
May God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Amen.
Wherever we go, God is. Well.